Imagine this. You wake up every day with the same routine. The same phone screen glowing in your face. The same bed that cradles you in warmth. The same excuses whispering in your ear. Tomorrow I'll change. Tomorrow I'll start. Tomorrow I'll do better. But tomorrow never comes. And in that quiet trap of comfort, your life slowly withers. You don't notice it at first, because comfort feels safe, like a soft blanket on a cold night. But what you don't realize is that blanket is also a chain. It holds you down, it ties you to mediocrity, and it blinds you from the destiny you were meant to create. Here's the truth: comfort is the silent killer of greatness. Comfort has destroyed more dreams than failure ever could. And until you learn how to break free from it, your future will remain just a shadow of what it could be. This is not just about working harder. This is about rewriting the story of your destiny through one weapon powerful enough to tear down the walls of comfort. Discipline. Comfort tells you it's your friend. It whispers, "Stay here. You've done enough. Why struggle? Life is short, enjoy it." And you believe it, because comfort feels good. It feels rewarding. It feels deserved. But here's the paradox. The more you indulge in comfort, the weaker you become. Every time you choose the soft option, scrolling instead of studying, sleeping instead of rising, eating junk instead of fueling your body, you are not just losing a moment. You are losing a piece of your potential. Think of comfort like quicksand. The longer you stay still in it, the deeper you sink. At first, you can still move. You can still get out. But if you keep choosing the easy path, you'll wake up one day trapped, stuck in a life you didn't want, with habits you didn't choose consciously, and with regrets heavier than the chains of discipline you once avoided. Discipline, on the other hand, feels like the enemy in the beginning. Waking up early hurts. Training your body burns. Saying no to temptation feels like punishment. But in truth, discipline is the key that unlocks freedom. Discipline is the hand that pulls you out of the quicksand. If comfort is a cage, discipline is the hammer that breaks the lock. So ask yourself, have you been living in comfort's lie? Or are you ready to pay the price of discipline to claim the life that belongs to you? Here's the paradox that most people never see. Discipline feels like slavery at first, but in the end, it gives you freedom. Comfort feels like freedom at first, but in the end, it enslaves you. Think about it. When you hit the snooze button, you believe you're free to sleep longer, free to stay cozy. But that decision steals your freedom later. You wake up rushed, unprepared, and behind the world. When you eat without control, you believe you're free to enjoy what you like. But that freedom robs you of energy, health, and confidence. Now look at discipline. Waking up early doesn't feel free. It feels painful. Resisting your cravings doesn't feel free. It feels restricting. But discipline pays you later. It gives you the freedom to live with strength, the freedom to walk with self-respect, the freedom to look in the mirror and see a person you admire. Most people never get to experience that freedom because they quit too soon. They want results without sacrifice. They want the crown without carrying the cross. But life doesn't work that way. Discipline demands pain, but not the pain of punishment. The pain of growth. And here's the hidden beauty. Once discipline becomes part of you, the pain turns into pleasure. What once felt like suffering now feels like power. The early morning becomes sacred. The workout becomes medicine. The focused hours become fuel. This is the paradox. Discipline hurts now, but it heals you forever. Comfort soothes you now, but it poisons you forever. So the question is simple. Which pain are you willing to choose? Comfort never tells you the full price up front. It lures you with ease, with pleasure, with instant gratification. But behind the curtain, it collects interest every single day. Every hour you waste scrolling endlessly on your phone is not just lost time, it's stolen potential. Every morning you hit snooze is not just a few extra minutes of sleep, it's a declaration to yourself that your dreams are not worth the discomfort of rising. Every shortcut you take is not just convenience, it's the slow erosion of your inner strength. Comfort feels harmless in the moment. But the cost compounds. You don't notice it until one day you wake up with a sinking realization. You are no longer who you dreamed you would become. Here's the cruel truth. Comfort steals in silence. It doesn't take your life in one big blow. It takes it in small slices. A day lost here, a choice avoided there, a standard lowered little by little. until you realize years have passed, and you are living inside the shell of a self you barely recognize. But discipline? Discipline makes you pay up front. The cost is immediate: sweat, sacrifice, discomfort, and pain. But once you pay, it gives you compound returns that grow richer with time. Confidence, strength, self-respect, opportunities, and eventually, freedom. Comfort robs you in installments. Discipline pays you in dividends. So ask yourself, when you look at your life 5 years from now, will you be proud of what you invested in, comfort or discipline? Every action you take is a vote for the kind of person you are becoming. Comfort whispers, "Take it easy. Skip today. You deserve a break." And each time you obey, you cast a vote for weakness. You reinforce the identity of someone who cannot rise above impulse. But when you choose discipline, even in the smallest act, you are rewriting your identity. Every time you say no to laziness, every time you resist temptation, every time you show up when you don't feel like it, you are casting a vote for strength. You are declaring to yourself, "I am not ruled by comfort. I am the one in command." This is where transformation begins, not in grand gestures, but in small acts of discipline repeated daily. The cold shower, the early morning, the focused hour of work, the quiet refusal of distraction. Each of these is a stroke of ink on the script of your destiny. And here's the secret: over time, discipline stops being something you do. It becomes who you are. You no longer need to force it, because your very identity has shifted. You no longer identify as someone who struggles to stay consistent. You become someone who thrives in consistency. Identity is destiny, and discipline is the pen that writes it. So ask yourself, what kind of identity are you writing today? Are you building the story of a warrior who rises above comfort, or the story of a captive chained by it? Because sooner or later, the world will read the story you've been writing all along. Life will test you. That's not a possibility, it's a guarantee. Storms will come, setbacks will strike, and pain will visit you in ways you never expected. In those moments, comfort offers no protection. Comfort leaves you fragile, unprepared, soft. But discipline? Discipline is the training ground where resilience is forged. Every time you push your body when it wants to quit, you are building armor for the day when life knocks you down. Every time you control your impulses instead of being controlled by them, you are sharpening your sword for the battles ahead. Resilience doesn't appear in crisis. It is built in the daily grind. It is built in the moments no one sees, when you could give up but choose to press forward. That quiet repetition, that constant stretching of your limits, is what prepares you to stand tall when the ground beneath you shakes. Comfort tells you to avoid stress, avoid pain, avoid struggle. But without stress, there is no strength. Without pain, there is no endurance. Without struggle, there is no growth. Discipline embraces these trials, not because they feel good, but because they prepare you for a life where nothing can easily break you. When the storm arrives, comfort leaves you begging for mercy. Discipline leaves you ready for war. So when you are tempted to stay soft, remember, the discomfort you choose today is the resilience you will need tomorrow. One of the greatest tragedies of comfort is not just that it makes you weak, it makes you distracted. Comfort scatters your attention. It fills your life with noise, temptations, and endless small pleasures that dilute your vision. You wake up one day chasing everything, but achieving nothing. But discipline is the blade that cuts through the fog. When you practice discipline, you begin to silence the noise. You stop chasing impulses and start directing your energy toward what actually matters. Suddenly, your mind becomes sharper. Your goals become clearer. Your path becomes visible. Discipline is not just about saying no, it's about saying yes to the right things. Saying yes to growth. Yes to purpose. Yes to becoming the highest version of yourself. Each act of discipline is like carving a statue from a block of marble. Slowly, the unnecessary pieces fall away, and the true form of who you are meant to be begins to emerge. Here's the truth. Greatness doesn't come from doing 1,000 things halfway. It comes from doing a few things with relentless focus. And discipline is the force that allows you to do that, to lock in, to eliminate distractions, to give your life direction and meaning. Without discipline, you drift. With discipline, you aim. Without discipline, your purpose is buried. With discipline, your purpose becomes your compass. So ask yourself, are you living as a drifter, pulled by every wave of comfort? Or are you living as a disciplined creator, shaping your destiny with precision and focus? Most people run from pain. They hide from it, numb it, or distract themselves until it passes. But here's what they don't understand: pain is not your enemy. Pain is the doorway to strength. Discipline teaches you how to walk through that doorway. When you choose to embrace the pain of discipline, the burning muscles, the tired mornings, the long hours of work, you are not suffering without purpose. You are converting pain into power. Think of it like fire. Uncontrolled, fire destroys. But when harnessed, fire forges steel, powers engines, and gives life warmth. Pain works the same way. In the hands of the undisciplined, pain destroys dreams. In the hands of the disciplined, pain becomes fuel for transformation. Every time you endure the discomfort of discipline, you are hardening your spirit. You are proving to yourself that you can withstand more than you thought possible. And once you've tasted that inner strength, you realize something profound. You don't have to fear pain anymore. You can use it. Comfort promises to shield you from pain, but in reality, it only makes you weaker, more fragile, more unprepared. Discipline exposes you to controlled pain, and in return, it builds unshakable strength. The choice is simple: run from pain and remain powerless, or embrace pain and become unstoppable. So, the next time you feel the sting of struggle, remember, this is not punishment. This is power being forged. Discipline doesn't just give you strength in isolated moments, it creates momentum. And momentum is one of the most powerful forces in human life. Think about it, the hardest part is always the beginning. The first push. The first workout. The first morning you drag yourself out of bed early. That's when resistance screams the loudest. But once you start moving, once discipline becomes consistent, you begin to gather speed. Each victory stacks on the last. Each disciplined act makes the next one easier. Momentum turns small habits into unstoppable change. It takes the man who could barely wake up on time and transforms him into the man who commands his mornings. It takes the person who struggled with excuses and reshapes them into someone others look to for inspiration. This is why discipline is so dangerous to comfort. Because once momentum takes over, comfort loses its grip. The chains snap, the excuses fade, and suddenly you realize you are not forcing discipline anymore. You are fueled by it. Here's the secret: momentum doesn't just change what you do, it changes who you believe you are. And once your belief shifts, your destiny shifts with it. Comfort keeps you still. Discipline sets you in motion. And once you are in motion, destiny bends in your favor. So, the question is, will you let comfort freeze you in place, or will you build the momentum that carries you to the life you were meant to live? Time is the one currency every human is given equally, but not every human spends it equally. Comfort wastes time. It convinces you there is always more hours, more days, more years. But then one day, you wake up and realize decades have slipped through your fingers. Discipline changes that. Discipline teaches you that every hour is a weapon, every day is an investment, every moment is a chance to carve your destiny. When you live with discipline, time bends in your favor. You achieve in 1 year what others can't touch in 10. Why? Because discipline removes the noise. It eliminates the wasted minutes lost in distraction. It sharpens your focus so you use time with precision, not carelessness. And soon, your hours stop being chains that drag you into regret. They become tools that build your empire. Here's the hard truth: comfort makes you a slave to time. Discipline makes you a master of it. Most people pray for more time, but what they really need is more discipline. Because time without discipline is just decay. Time with discipline is destiny. So ask yourself, are your hours slipping away unnoticed, or are they being forged into the future you dream of? Remember this: the clock is always ticking. Discipline decides whether it becomes your enemy or your greatest ally. Comfort dies with you. The pleasures you indulged, the ease you clung to, the distractions you surrendered to, none of them will be remembered. Comfort leaves no trace. But discipline? Discipline echoes beyond your life. The disciplined man leaves behind more than possessions, he leaves behind impact. He becomes the example that others follow, the standard that others measure themselves against, the story that inspires generations yet unborn. Legacy is not written in comfort. It is written in sacrifice. In the hours no one saw. In the choices no one applauded. In the battles fought within your own mind that no one else will ever know about. Discipline is not glamorous, but it is eternal. Think of the great men and women who reshaped history. None of them were known for choosing ease. They are remembered because they chose the hard path, the disciplined path, the path that demanded everything. And because of that, their lives became something larger than themselves. Your legacy is being written right now. With every choice. With every sacrifice. With every act of discipline or surrender to comfort. One day, people will look back and say one of two things. He wasted his potential. Or, he mastered himself, and because of that, he changed everything. Discipline ensures you are remembered. Comfort ensures you are forgotten. So the question is, what will they say about you when you are gone? Destiny is not written by chance. It is written by choice. And the choices you make daily, whether to surrender to comfort or rise in discipline, are carving the story of your future in stone. Most people believe destiny is something mystical, predetermined, out of their control. But the truth is simple. Destiny is nothing more than the accumulation of disciplined actions, stacked day after day, year after year. Discipline takes the ordinary life and transforms it into something extraordinary. It takes the man no one believed in and turns him into a leader. It takes the woman who struggled with self-doubt and turns her into a force of unshakable power. It takes the dreamer stuck in fantasies and transforms him into a creator of reality. When you embrace discipline, you are no longer bound by the limits of your past. You are no longer trapped in the identity comfort chained you to. Discipline hands you the pen and says, rewrite it. Rewrite your future. Rewrite your story. Rewrite your destiny. The truth is, comfort cannot give you this. Comfort only repeats yesterday. But discipline creates tomorrow. And that is the final power, the power to look at your life, no matter how broken or stagnant it feels, and know with certainty, through discipline, I can become someone new. The world will try to tell you who you are. Comfort will try to hold you where you've always been. But discipline gives you the strength to rise, to change, to break every chain, and to step into the destiny you were always meant to live. You've seen the truth. Comfort is not your friend, it is your captor. It lulls you with ease while quietly stealing your strength, your time, and your destiny. But discipline? Discipline is the fire that purifies you, the sword that defends you, the pen that rewrites your story. And here's the reality. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment to begin. You don't need to wait for motivation, or for the stars to align. You begin now. With the next choice. With the next action. With the next moment of resistance where you decide, I will not be ruled by comfort anymore. Discipline is not built in a day, but it is built daily. Every small act of strength compounds into greatness. Every sacrifice sharpens your edge. Every victory, no matter how small, breaks another link in the chain. So today, you stand at a crossroads. One path is comfort, soft, easy, forgettable. The other path is discipline, hard, demanding, unforgettable. One path ends in regret. The other ends in destiny. The choice is yours. Break the chains. Choose discipline. Rewrite your destiny.